Travel at low cost with points and miles. Credit card rewards bring the smiles. Many adventures, tales to be told. Make and save money, the world will unfold. Fight the war on happiness, pick up the gold. Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast breaks the mold.
You're listening to the Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Vacula, here to help you travel the world at next to no cost with credit card points, miles, benefits, and rewards. Make money, save money, and take advantage of great deals. Thanks for joining me for today's episode with returning podcast guest, Darren Remsburg. We talk about our miles and points redemptions, family travel, online gambling funded by credit, and much more. Before today's episode, some quick announcements. I'll be speaking at multiple events in 2024, including the September Chicago Seminars event at Hyatt Regency, the October Chicago Seminars event at the Holiday Inn in Elk Grove Village, and the Miles, Points, and Gambling event Zorkfest, November 2024 in Las Vegas. Visit meetup.com/Philly Miles and Points to RSVP for monthly Greater Philadelphia Travel Credit Miles and Points meetups I host in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. The next meetups are August 25th, September 15th, and October 20th. The website udio.com created the new podcast intro music. On with today's episode. All right, thank you for recording Darren Remsburg, returning to the show since your last appearance in October of 2019.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate you having me. Yeah, nice 5-year break here. Lots of things have happened. Lots of things to talk about.
You still haven't signed up for the Amex Plum card, but you've gotten several others.
I am. Yeah, that's correct. I am still Plum free currently. Although, as you well know, the Plum Club is inevitable. So
the Plum card and the MGM MasterCard will be in your wallet one day. One likelier than another, though.
There you go.
You're just back from Puerto Rico. You used miles and points to enable this trip. So tell us about how you went about this one.
Yeah, the Isle of Enchantment, Puerto Rico. This was a family trip. So in addition to my wife and 3 kids, my parents and sister and her husband and 2 kids joined us. Had a great time. My sister's first foray into sort of the reward travel enthusiast, or as we like to call it, travel hacking. And she was able to pay for her family's tickets through 2 sign-up bonuses to get the Chase personal card and then Chase business card. That allowed her to earn a companion pass, which paid for her husband's ticket. And then she used the points she got from those 2 sign-up bonuses to pay for herself and her 2 kids. So really a great introduction for her. Puerto Rico is like being in a different country. The culture is different. Spanish is the primary language, although certainly most everyone speaks English. I think English is the official language. But the culture is very different. But the advantage, of course, is you don't need a passport. You don't need to exchange money. And it really was a fantastic trip. We had a great time. For lodging, we had 11 folks, we skipped the hotels, did Airbnb, was able to secure some discount Airbnb cards from our favorite grocery store. That's, of course, Giant Food Stores. Pennsylvania. Yep. And so reduce the cost there and then earn some sign-up bonuses with some stuff. And and then I did the same. I did something similar, a little more convoluted. Also did a companion pass, but I still have my points banked, except for my wife, who I designated as my companion, and actually cashed out some cashed out some U.S. Bank altitude reserve points in a sort of convoluted way, and purchased discounted Southwest gift cards from Costco at 20% off. So yeah, that worked out really well for our flights. Still have the companion pass for the rest of this year and all of 2025, and look forward to taking advantage of that.
Yeah, we really love the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve Card. That's the mobile pay card of choice for effectively 4.5% cash back everywhere. It's and for those folks that are playing in 2-player mode, it is a great player 2 card.
I see husbands and wives, and no one likes being told which card to use, or more importantly, that they use the wrong card. Use the wrong card. No one likes to be told that. So there are very few cards that benefit. They're going to provide more benefit than 4.5%. Just stick it in the mobile pay wallet, whether that's Apple Pay or Google Pay, and your P2 is good to go. Anywhere that mobile pay is accepted.
Say its name and it appears. The Altitude Reserve.
Exactly right. It's like Beetlejuice, right?
Or Joe Hendry, the wrestling horse. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
But that one's Paul Bearer, though, so what can you do? But yes, I got a haircut today at Great Clips with a back-to-school promo. And to look through cards and see, which card's bonus spending at Great Clips? Probably none of them. But I know that Altitude Reserve mobile pay will work.
Yeah, I mean, looking through all this card sounds like an archaeological dig, Justin. It's not.
He's saying all the words. Yeah, and now Live Casino Philadelphia is charging for parking on certain days, but after playing poker for 4 hours, I get reimbursed. So is it going to code as parking? Is it going to code as entertainment? I don't know, but I can just be sure with the Altitude Reserve using mobile pay to pay for parking. I wish they could charge me thousands of dollars for parking and reimburse me, but unfortunately that's not the case.
Yeah, maybe you just need to talk to the parking attendant there, see if you can't strike up a little deal, see if he's willing to make a business decision in your favor. What do you think?
I asked the Players Club people, and they said you're only allowed one parking redemption per day. So the war on happiness strikes again.
Yeah. Never. I mean, the worst thing they can say is no, right?
Yeah, worth a shot, right? So that's good. Yeah, you got Puerto Rico in, a new player to some extent in the game.
Yeah.
Now, was the new player resistant to this at first? What was their reaction to sign up for these new credit cards?
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So, we had just come back, I think maybe from our trip last year. We were in Tanzania on safari. My wife and I took our three girls over and had a fantastic trip. And we're talking about it, I think, at over the holidays. And my sister was like, I feel like I really want to go to Australia. I'm like, okay, well, we can. Like, Australia is probably if it's not the hardest place to get to on miles and points, it certainly seems like it's in the top five, at least from the East Coast of the U.S. So they live just south of us, about 2.5 hours south and west. I said we could absolutely do it. I put together the cards they would need to fly, family of 4 round trip, based on some estimates. They looked at that and all the cards and all the spend, and they thought, maybe not. And I think it would have been a big jump. And so then we were sort of talking, and I said, well, what about something closer like Puerto Rico? It's my wife had been there 20 years ago, really enjoyed it, experienced some of that, same but different type culture, and thought that would be a good first step. And the companion pass is, I think, one of the easiest travel hacks out there. If you're under 524, right? If you've gotten less than 5 credit cards in the last 24 months, and I think most beginners have reasonably good credit, and have a business, not a business decision, Justin, just a business.
A business, or a business in quotation marks.
Yeah,
but preferably a real business.
You have a hobby in which you are paid, right? So that's a lot of different things. Yeah, you can sign up for that one of each, and off you go. I think right now, actually, Southwest has one card. If you spend it right, you can actually get a companion pass based on one card, just a little more spend. So anyway, that's how we started, and we were already talking about what are we going to do next? They have a companion pass through next year, and so talking about whether we're going to do something next year, and then maybe my brother-in-law would then sign up and do a companion pass. Name my sister as his companion and have the points to fly the kids. So talked about something maybe out west in the United States, in one of the national parks, maybe Yellowstone or Glacier, something out that way. So we shall see.
And they're not even doing anything super advanced like some of the things we do, like gift card reselling. We'll get into online gambling. We'll get into they just shifted their spend to the new cards, got the sign-up bonuses, and it saved them a lot of money.
Absolutely. All organic spend.
Objections I hear from some people, I'd have to do as much as you do. I'd have to be all in. It sounds like another job. But for them, it was just very easy to just shift spend to different cards.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's like you watch, you just watch the Olympics, right? No one started out saying, I want to be an Olympian and then jumped in, except for maybe that Australian break dancer. I think that's what what happened with her. But for the
Yeah.
rest of us, out there, and certainly those on the podiums, it was years and years of work and progression. And I mean, I don't want to say we're Olympian travel hackers. I'm sure there's folks that are more advanced than we are, but we're certainly at above average, I would guess. And with that in mind, I think most folks start out with trying something, right? I heard about this credit card, or I heard about that thing, or I mean, I don't know if I've ever told you way back when, probably 2005, no, would have been 2007 or 2008. I signed up for the AirTran card. This was the this was the airline that eventually merged with Southwest, but they had a similar idea. You signed up, you got so many credits, and then these credits could be used for a flight. For whatever reason, I think I signed up just before my daughter was born or just after, and I thought I was going to use it for a work deal or something, and that never worked out. And those credits eventually expired. My first credit card sign up ever expired.
Oh, disaster.
Right. But a few years later, I got interested again, and this is probably I told the story on the first one, but 5 years ago, who remembers? I was just scrolling Twitter, it's still called Twitter back then, and the points guy, the blog that everyone loves to hate, had posted the Etihad mistake fares from JFK to Abu Dhabi and onwards for $350, and so we flew that and we're hooked. Deeper and deeper we went. So here we are, almost 10 years, 9 years, 10 years later, and doing all sorts of creative things in order to maximize our ability to travel.
As you've said, schemes, not scams. That's for
Schemes,
sure.
not scams. And what I learned along the way is the answer to all problems, Justin, is just more credit cards.
That's right. And we've been signing up for multiple American Express cards recently with the no lifetime language offers. It was the summer of Hilton. We're recording here August of 2024. And the Delta no lifetime language offers. And today I saw links for a Blue Business Plus and Blue Business Cash. So even though we've had these cards before, or currently have them, or have had, we can keep going as American Express is rewarding. America's funnest bank, as the
Definitely.
Milenomics podcast likes to say.
I think that's trademarked, but I'm sure they'll give us permission.
Yeah, they'll be all right. Yeah, so another criticism is, oh, well, you're going to flame out. You're going to run out of cards to sign up for. You're going to run out of things to do. But that certainly hasn't been the case since I've started in 2018. You and I are both going maybe to the bottom of the barrel, signing up for the Venmo credit card and some other cards that aren't as great, but we're still getting some big bonuses from American Express and other banks as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned Milenomics there earlier. I think one of the really fun things about this hobby is, in addition to being able to travel with your family or travel with your friends, or so some folks just travel by yourself. It's the community that you meet along the way. You help each other out. It really is, and folks say this, a small community. It's interesting sometimes, I'll talk to you, Justin. We talk fairly frequently about some crazy thing that we're doing, and then I'll be at work and mention something sort of in passing about some deal I just did, and they look at me like, you did what with how and who? And I'm like, oh right, sorry, I've I, I've used magic in front of the Muggles, and this is not going to work.
Yeah, yeah.
It's I think sometimes people see some of the plays that you and I are doing, and it's intimidating, right? Like when I was talking about that Southwest play, I talked about 3 or 4 different steps I took to get essentially free flights on Southwest, and for me that was the way to go about it. But for my sister, it was much easier to sign up for 2 credit cards. I think spend $4,000 that she was going to spend anyway, and all of a sudden, boom, she's got 4 free flights round trip from the U.S. mainland to Puerto Rico, and I think
Yeah.
that's a very easy win, and you and I both know you get one easy win, right, and then you're like, well, that was pretty easy. That's not so hard.
Let's do more.
Yeah, let's do more, right? Like, what else can we do? And for them, it's probably going to be the same idea, but flipped around, and they'll do it again. But yeah, they were actually already talking about my sister's birthday is coming up here this fall, and talking about going down to New Orleans for a long weekend, and want same deal, right? They're essentially they buy one get one free on their flights to New Orleans, and they may actually have enough points again after some more spend on those cards. So I just think there's lots of different ways to do it. My advice is always, start small. Australia is a big goal. Puerto Rico is
Yep.
much easier, and then work towards it. And if you're if there's a meetup close by, right, like the one you host in Giant.
In Giant, Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, Greater Philadelphia Travel.
That's right. Really enjoyed that. I think every time I go there, I learn something new. Someone's doing something that I'm not doing, or has a different idea about something I'm doing to make it even a better deal, right? And that's a great community there. And then you have sort of online communities, the Mile Namas community, the Miles Earn and Burn community, lots of different communities, and folks, freely share their ideas, and you freely share yours and questions. And there's some meetups along the way, but yeah, I think one of the big meetups every year is Chicago Seminars, which I know you'll be speaking at. Both Chicago
Yep.
seminars, right?
Both Chicago seminars
Yeah.
and Zorkfest
And
in
Zorkfest.
November,
There you go.
the Miles Points and Gambling event.
Have not yet attended Zorkfest, but it is on my to-do list.
Yeah, if only we can get the gymnastics panel
Yeah.
to go to Las Vegas again. You have these girls
Yeah.
in gymnastics, but no one wants to go to Atlantic City and Las Vegas for some
I
reason.
know,
Come
I
on, why
know.
not?
And the problem was, right, we started doing that. We started in Atlantic City. We started going to Vegas, and then they swapped it up.
They'll see the light one day. Talk to them about Rio. Hey, you can get these great nights at Rio and the Hash House to Go breakfast.
Maybe.
I'm almost Hyatt Globalist thanks to Rio. It's great.
Maybe if I spun it like, hey, I think I could get us really discounted rooms at Rio if you wouldn't mind checking in under someone else's name. Like, how do you feel about that? Is that too far? Could we make this happen? I think we could get very
Oh,
inexpensive nights.
but unfortunately they blocked that because they told me that to check in you need to have the physical person on the reservation with their ID in person to check in.
Whoa.
Yeah, I tried booking for past podcast guest Justin, the other Justin from Minneapolis, to help him get Globalist, check him in as I did with MGM in the past. MGM, you're able to do it just fine, especially with the mobile check-in, but using the mobile check-in at Rio, I was not able to use his confirmation number and check in. And then when I went to the Hyatt check-in area, they did not allow that either, even though I was listed on the reservation. Oh, we need the primary person to be here. So they're not playing games. They're happy to give out the rooms, but they actually want you to use them, and they actually want the person to be there.
I mean, we would use them, whether that person. I mean, who's to
Oh,
say?
yeah,
They
that's
might
right.
show
That's
up
right.
later. They might just show up later.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe their flight would be canceled. You never can tell.
Due to cloud strike, I think
Yeah,
it was. So,
right. Let's hope not.
yeah, so unfortunately that's closed, but still a lot of great options. And Vegas constantly being a value destination all these years I've been going there, as I was a poker player first, and then I found Miles and Points. So being able to go to Vegas so often, take advantage of the deals. My phone army is going as we're speaking. All the My Vegas games running. I just crossed the threshold of 26 million loyalty points, so we're doing well with that. And being able to stack the deals with others while we're there is great. This September and October, I'll be returning to Vegas for a double birthday extravaganza with past podcast guest Mandy. I'm going to use my birthday rewards at the end of September. She's coming in then, and then early October, we're going to be using her rewards. So it's a nice way to split many of them. As $150 for just me at Wynn Las Vegas is a lot of food, but splitting it with someone else and then swapping is really good.
That sounds fantastic. Great use of points. And 26 million. That seems like a lot. Is that a lot?
If you're at it, you can get about $1 million a month. So after a lot of redemptions, including some cruises, I think there were 4 or 5 million. We're still in really good shape, especially if they allow us to cash out points for real cash or more free play redemptions. I'm ready, because it would suck to just give up on the games and think, oh, well, I have enough now for a lifetime, but then they change something and then you just missed out on a lot. Mm-hmm. So very little effort for big reward, and I think that's what the hobby is promising. Now, some of the things we put in more effort to get more reward, but as you've said, there are people who are all in. I'm not all in, I'm mostly in, but there are people who are doing a lot of physical product reselling. There are people who have warehouses. there are people who are doing a lot with buyers clubs, which I don't do, at least with the physical products. I'm still dedicating my time to other places. And you personally, as we mentioned, you have kids, you have a day job, but yet you're still able to do a lot and still make it happen with Miles and Points.
Yeah, I think probably what I've done is been more selective in what I'm doing and really focus on the stuff that can be done. Those famous pajama points, right? What can I do for my home? What can I do when I'm picking kids up or dropping kids off on the way? That sort of thing. So a lot of the things I was doing, 5 years ago, a lot of in-store manufactured spending. Again, it sounds like a scam, Justin, but it's only a scam. Pulled way back on that. Still do some gift card selling. Don't do buyers club, but do some similar things like that, and try to capture some of that spend in things that are easily transferable to cash, we'll say.
Yeah, I got you into the online gaming. We've been playing a lot of blackjack, some sports betting, some other games online when there's an edge to be had. And I think the game has significantly improved as we've seen the introduction of FanDuel gift cards, $250 fee-free FanDuel gift cards, and many $100 DraftKings gift cards. Now at Staples, many grocery stores, many Wawa locations. Not so much at Speedway, at least with credit card. Sometimes you find the Speedway hut and they sell nothing, but the storefront Speedways are good. But unfortunately, it doesn't work using credit to buy the DraftKings at Speedway, from my experience. But at many of these other locations, especially Staples, getting the 5X Ultimate Rewards with the Chasing Cash, it's been fantastic to get the FanDuel gift cards at Staples.
Yeah, agreed. I feel very fortunate to live here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, right, where we have access to all
the Keystone State.
The Keystone State. I mean, we don't have the Krogers and the Harris Teeters that others do, but we do have online gambling. We do have Giant Food Store. Does provide us both grocery and gas points that we can utilize and leverage. Sometimes it, like you say, you don't realize how many points or how deep down the award enthusiast.
Lots of enthusiasm.
Lots of enthusiasm. Yeah, we are until you talk to someone that's not at all involved, and you're like, oh, huh, yeah.
Too much work, but then they're paying out of pocket, working their job and paying for travel. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, back to your original thing. So I full-time job, raising kids. Spend some time with my wife. Have a dog and a cat, 2 cats. So it's not. I'm not living the lifestyle of a hermit or anything like that, and yeah, still able to to take at least one big trip every year. More and more, we're trying to find flights in the front end of the plane, right, in business or in first when we're doing that. Southwest is famously does not provide that opportunity, but we did at least score some extra seats in our most recent trip, so that's something for the 4-hour flight. So.
Yeah, lots of grocery and gas rewards at Giant. That's been fantastic. And past podcast guest, that's a mouthful, Beth, even was saying, "Hey, Justin, why don't you give up your apartment? Like, what would it be like living at hotels, being on the road, maybe having a home base in Vegas?" And I say, well, the online blackjack and the Giant gas and grocery programs are compelling reasons to stay in Pennsylvania, and that's seriously true. I have so much storage in my back room, and I ended up with the first world problem of grocery rewards again. I had so many after the bonus DraftKings gift cards recently that I ended up buying Crest white strips at the end of it before the points were going to expire. So I guess for my upcoming presentations, people can pay attention to my teeth. They'll be whiter.
There you go. It's a true supermarket sweep opportunity, it sounds like.
Yeah, David Ruprecht didn't show up with the big bonuses, but the white strips were okay.
Too bad.
The original host, David Ruprecht, whatever he's up to, I don't know.
And you're doing all this while also still traveling, right? So you often experience that travel hacker's dilemma where you're traveling, and so you're unable to take advantage of a deal that's going on for a limited time, a week or whatever it might be. So,
yeah, I would just love to pay Giant maybe $100 a year to have the grocery and gas points never expire. That'd be fantastic, but unfortunately they haven't made that accommodation. Acme/Safeway did with their program a few years ago.
Yeah.
I have tons of grocery points remaining with Acme that are never going to expire with the Fresh Pass program. But unfortunately with Giant, yeah, it's like I could eat a lot of Chinese and sushi on the go, but only so much. And then when I'm in Atlantic City for several weeks or I'm in Vegas for about 2 weeks, then okay, what am I going to do with these points? But with the DraftKings, it was all gravy anyway. It was 5x, and we're giving up about a 0.5% house edge on blackjack. So the spread there is really tremendous. So even if I get something like extra laundry detergent or Crest white strips, or I'm eating Chinese food on the go, I'm still very happy with that exchange.
Yeah, and that doesn't include the bonuses, right? The online gambling sites routinely have deposit bonus, playthrough bonus. I mean, all sorts of bonuses. And when you're signed up for 3 or 4 or 10 of these different things, you can sort of move your money around, or deposit your gift cards, as the case may be, in different locations, and be able to leverage and take advantage of each one of those to really minimize the risk as part of that gambling.
Yeah, with this quote unquote extra money that we have, because we're using credit to buy these cards in most situations, well, we don't have to pay those balances back during the grace period. And sometimes, okay, you can buy a card, the statement closes like 25 to 30 days later. So you might have somewhere around 55 to 60 days to pay these cards back. And if you're using 0 APR on business cards in particular, then you'll have even more. So what I've done with some of this extra money is I've used that to fund bank account bonuses. I recently opened a Santander checking account where I needed to park, I believe it was $2,500 for 60 days to get a bonus of $400 or $500. And I opened a business checking with Bank of America that required parking, I believe it was $5K, to get a bonus with them for a few $100s. And then additional money is going into, I now have a wealth front account that's giving 5% or 5.5% APY. So I'm making additional money on that too, which is really interesting.
Yeah, making money with somebody else's money, right?
Yeah, we're being bankrolled by Chase, American Express, U.S. Bank, many others. I'm sure Dave Ramsey would be a big fan of that gambling and credit card use.
Yeah, I think if Dave Ramsey's listening, he's already had a stroke and had to be taken over to the hospital for medical treatment.
Yeah, he said that you can't use your points and miles to go to Belize. I know we didn't go to Belize this time, but definitely many other trips you and I have both gone on. Iceland was another one that you took a lot of hard to pronounce towns, places, glaciers, and volcanoes.
Jays, volcanoes and waterfalls. That's had a great trip. Again, another one of those deals where was able to use points and miles for the hotel, and then I can't remember. We rented an RV. I can't remember how I did that. Whether it was, I think it was either the Barclay Arrival, or if I didn't have that card, I think we used maybe the Venture X as a travel eraser. So even those cards, which sometimes in the travel hacking community get sort of poo-pooed, I think have their place. You know, you can use them for things like that, and there are some reasonable benefits to some of those cards as well.
Yeah, not only are we traveling, but we're traveling in usually pretty good accommodations. You're getting the upgraded flights, especially for the international travel, with business class, or maybe premium economy, but most of the time the business class, right?
Yeah, the last few years for sure. And in fact, our trip to Tanzania last summer, so 23, we flew 3 of us in first class on Etihad from Washington Dulles to Abu Dhabi, and 2 in business. So that was a great experience for certainly for my wife and I, but my oldest daughter got to sit up front with us, and then the 2 younger kids were in back, 1 row back or 2 rows back, I think, in business. So that was great. On the way home, we flew Qatar Q Suites, which was fantastic. So trying more and more, especially some of these longer haul flights, flying in business. Even when we were over in Scotland and Ireland earlier this summer as well. Flew up front. The kids really wanted to fly upstairs. There's upstairs on planes in addition to upstairs in Giant.
And Bed Bath & Beyond was an upstairs.
Right, upstairs. Yeah. Flew upstairs on the A380 in business class. Really enjoyed that. All 5 of us were up there, and on the way back, we flew from Dublin, and we're able to do that on Air Canada, good old Aeroplan miles. Really one of the the top values in points and miles. Very flexible, low surcharges and fees, and they really do fly a lot of places with a lot of partners. So came back Dublin to Montreal, and Montreal to DC, again all in business, and really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, mostly thanks to the online gambling, because prior we'd be going into places like Walmart, Family Dollar, Dollar General, but a lot of those liquidation avenues have dried up or become more difficult. So we've pivoted to the online as, okay, yeah, we're giving up a slight edge, but we're gaining the bonuses on the acquisition side. We're using these bonus categories. We're spending toward high spend goals, which are giving bonuses, retention offers that are giving bonuses. So it's pretty wild. It's nice to be in Pennsylvania and take advantage of this. Now, there are some ups and downs with gambling, of course. Even though it's a game where you're giving up a slight edge, there are some times where you might be down a few hundred in a particular session or a particular week or a particular month. But overall, you're going to regress to the mean, right? You're going to reach expectation at some point and even be ahead with some bonuses.
Yeah.
So how's that been going for you? Has it been mentally taxing? Have you doubted the legitimacy of the regulated gambling? What's that been like?
No, never. I mean, I don't know. I guess you and I have talked about this, but I think I have sort of come up with the idea that these casinos make enough money playing it straight, right? And they have so much to risk if they are cheating in any way, and it's somehow proven. So I think they absolutely are playing it straight. Again, the pajama points, the convenience of being able to load cards and play whenever I want from my couch or while I'm waiting to pick up kids or whatever it might be, right? It doesn't take very long to play a few hands of blackjack, especially on multi-hand play and so forth. I was just running some numbers here, and it's interesting. When we were both doing a lot of in-store purchases of money orders, that was the thing, and for many people still is. It was maybe $1 for $500, and so that was a 0.2% liquidation fee. So I just looked at lifetime for gambling. And my numbers, I think lifetime are about the same as yours just this year, Justin. But for lifetime for me, it's about $550,000 pushed through a variety of casinos, and I'm actually
Nice.
up. I'm actually up $1,000 lifetime, and that includes bonuses and various other things. So on just blackjack play alone, I'm down a couple percentage points, but well within what I would expect to see in variance. And so we're making, quote unquote, making money liquidating these cards. And not to say there's not a few bumps along the way, just like there's cashiers that would give you a hard time about converting your enabled debit card to money orders.
I got a few weeks ago, it was, you're not allowed to buy a gift card here at ShopRite in New Jersey
Right,
because you
right,
don't have a New Jersey driver's license.
right.
So I said, oh, well, I have a passport as an alternate form of ID if you would like that. And the cashier said, no, we don't accept that here. You have to have a New Jersey driver's license. So that's perhaps one of the most made up things that I've heard in the last like 6 years. And I've had some weird run-ins at Cheesecake Factory before. I got accused of money laundering because I wanted to buy a $50 gift card with a happy card. Using a gift card to buy a gift card is money laundering for $50. So the Cheesecake Factory police did not show up at my apartment that day,
Thankfully.
and they haven't since. So I guess I'm okay there. But yeah, the cashiers sometimes love making up rules. And then, of course, a wad of $100 bills is okay, but a credit card with multiple forms of ID is not for some reason.
Yeah, definitely not money laundering.
Although, of course, right across the street, I was able to go to Acme and Lowe's and buy gift cards there with my Pennsylvania driver's license and passport. But ShopRite, that particular location, they're the heroes stopping all these nefarious actors because
Certainly, world happiness.
Even though I could explain to them exactly what I'm doing and I'm very public facing, I'm still breaking rules somehow in their minds. It's very strange.
When you tell that story, Justin, I almost miss going to Walmart with my stack of cards and being turned down by a cashier who's decided that today is the day that they're not interested in playing our games anymore. But hey, there's bumps in the road everywhere, right? Like flights get canceled, deposits get flagged. Your deposit stacking, Justin.
Yeah, deposit stacking. Yeah,
You make
the
too many
FanDuel
deposits.
didn't like that.
Yeah, didn't realize casinos didn't like it. Have you ever been to a casino in person where they're like, "Sir, it appears you've made too many deposits today." It just doesn't seem like something that would happen. So.
Yeah, they don't want my money. They don't want my action,
Right,
I guess. But maybe if I was betting like 8 and 10 leg parlays and losing my ass on gambling, they'd be happy to take that action.
maybe.
But otherwise,
Maybe.
not so. Yeah, it was like the casino, the local-ish casino, Rivers, Philadelphia. They had a slogan at one point: "Philly loves a winner," but we all know that the casinos really don't love winners.
Well, casinos love to be the winner. I think that's the thing. Right? Like, if you think you have an edge outside of what you and I are just talking about here, with the way we're essentially discounting our cards, either directly or indirectly, that we're using to load into the accounts and then using bonuses and other advantage bets to be EV positive, expected value positive here. For most folks, are looking to just go in and gamble, play some roulette, maybe, double down.
Yeah, play into like a 5 to 6% house advantage
Yeah,
rather
play the
than just
slots,
playing
slot.
the slots for even more.
I mean, I think, like you say, when you look at things in a lot of different ways and look for the angle, the scheme, right? Not the scam, the scheme. Then there's ways to do it. And this has been a great, for me, like you said, a great liquidation avenue, and seems to be fairly well tolerated by the online casinos.
Yeah, and on the sports betting side, really early on when you got into it and I got into it, they were much more generous with profit boosts, bonus bets, and the early win promotion was a really interesting one that DraftKings actually cried to the media at one point because they lost money on it.
Yeah, NFL season's coming back, so at least I hope for the first couple of weeks they run it like they have in the past. It's Yeah, I mean, what's the deal is if the team that you bet on is ever ahead by 7 points, right? Or sometimes it's 10
Yep.
points, but usually seven,
Yep.
then your bet pays off. So
Regardless of the outcome,
regardless
yeah.
of the outcome, correct. And so of course you bet the underdog, right? Because that's where the best odds are. And the chance that the underdog gets a touchdown or goes up by a touchdown somewhere in the course of the game, given the parity in the NFL, it turns out quite high. It turns out that for I don't know 3 or 4 weeks there a couple years ago, we had a very profitable way to liquidate our gift cards. So
Yep.
fingers crossed that somebody wants to bring that back again. We don't care which casino; we'd be happy with any of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So DraftKings, FanDuel, Golden Nugget, MGM. Any of you guys interested? You let us know.
Stardust Casino Online.
Stardust
Yeah.
Casino
You got some.
Online, Bet365. I just saw a commercial for. We're interested. We're willing participants.
Yeah, I think they erred in some way because some of the games went both ways, where a team was up 7 points and there was a fluctuation where the other team then was up by seven. So
Mm-hmm.
both sides paid out. So they really got crushed on multiple games where that happened.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not surprised at all, right? I mean, the other fun bet that you and I have partaken in and probably will again. I think you already have.
I haven't put anything down yet because the season hasn't started.
Okay.
So maybe
Okay.
about a few days before the season starts for this one.
Yeah, bet against the perfect season, which has only happened once ever in all of professional football history. So
Yeah, so they have the Dolphins had the perfect season, I believe, and then the Patriots had the perfect regular season
Mhm.
were the two. And I think now they're doing will a team go 17-0 in the regular season, and you could take the no on that one.
Yeah, and so then that pays off when the last undefeated team loses. So
Yeah.
if you're a local Philly person and a big Eagles fan and they're the last team to lose, at least there's a consolation prize for you. So
Yeah, that's what happened. I think they had an 8-0 start, and then they lost a game mid-season, and then tanked the rest of it. But once they lost the one game, we
yeah,
were good. And I think the Bills lost pretty early on, and the Chiefs lost pretty early on, so we were all right. And yeah, there could be that once in a million season where the Atlanta Falcons just have this miracle year, I suppose. Sorry, Atlanta Falcons fans, but yeah, probably not happening.
probably not happening.
Yeah, so we just look for all kinds of edges and advantages in miles and points, outside of miles and points. I got birthday deals coming up, as I mentioned, so I'm ready to pay my birthday tax again at Perkins. That's been a fun one.
Mm.
You get an outright free breakfast, but then they charge you the tax for some reason. So I ended up having to pay like 60 cents for my complimentary breakfast and muffin that came with it. They threw in
Yeah.
the birthday tax.
Well, I think that's the thing about miles and points, right? Once you sort of figure out that there's the next layer, then the next layer, right? Once you figure out that the best way to fly on Delta may not be to use Delta points, right? Or the best way to fly on American is not to use American points. Well, then you start to look at everything else in a little sort of different kind of way. Well, what if this is not the best way to do that? What if that is not the best way to do this? And it sort of opens your eyes, right, to different ways to I don't say take advantage of the system exactly, but they set the rules and we're playing by them. We're just making sure that
Yep.
the way we play is going to be advantageous to us more often than not.
Yeah, it was a former coworker, maybe listening, Ibrahim. We worked with this Indian doctor, and she would often say, "Who makes the rules? Do you make the rules, or does mom make the rules?" But unfortunately, the kids often made the rules, and the
Yeah,
parents
yeah.
caved. But so yeah, we're just trying to play within the boundaries, right? We might get pretty close to the line. Where is the line?
Where
We
is the
don't
line
know.
too?
Like, yeah, the sports betting casino sites will be happy to take your deposits, but then sometimes like, oh, you made too many deposits, or it was like, okay, well, what's the acceptable threshold? And then we never really get straight answers. So we're still going pretty strong. It's been several years of doing this. Some shutdowns here and there, but still a lot of sites and a lot of competition. So that's a good thing for us.
Absolutely.
And yes, speed bumps everywhere. There would be people who have day jobs and then all of a sudden they have to do these extra tasks, or maybe their position gets
Yeah,
eliminated or they get shifted. What game would you like to play? There's always going to be some effort. It's going to be rare that the money is just going to fall from the sky. You're going to have to put in some efforts to get a return. And this is what we're doing, and we're still having fun with it years later. And it's really augmented things that I was doing anyway, like going to gaming conventions, going to play poker in different locations. It's just made the experience a lot better. I really look forward to a lot of Atlantic City trips where I can go to the M4 lounge and have the unlimited food and drink for only $12.50 in comps. And the buffet, discounted buffet, not paying resort fees on rooms. And these would be things that I'd probably do anyway and just have to pay, but now I don't because I can use these programs to my advantage.
absolutely. And I think that's the great thing about miles and points. They're one tool to increase the opportunity to travel or to increase your enjoyment of that travel. Um, you and I have joked in the past about how the vacation, with miles and points and lounge access and all those sorts of things, now the vacation starts when you get to the airport, right? Instead of when you get on the plane or when you get to your hotel or wherever you're staying. It's just a matter of increasing that enjoyment. And, previously, if you were flying in economy, right, and didn't find that to be enjoyable, well, now maybe you're able to fly in premium economy or business or first. And so now that extends or expands the joy that you're getting out of that trip. And again, I think there's something to be said that you don't want to book the hotel that's, I don't know, 2 hours away from the thing you really want to do just because it's a good deal on points, right? There's still the opportunity to pay cash when you need to pay cash and benefit from that, especially if you have status. I know you're working on globalist status. I know, me, most of my status comes from either holding cards. The Hilton Aspire provides diamond status, of course, for Hilton, and the good old IHG card provides platinum and a free night every year for $49. I think it's still one of the best deals in town, and there's always a Holiday Inn somewhere, right? So I think that status, then maybe you book into premium economy and get upgraded to business, or maybe you get the opportunity to choose an exit row seat or any of those sorts of things that allow you to expand and really enjoy your trip in a way that you wouldn't maybe be willing to pay a lot of money for, but now you're able to do it through points and miles.
Yes, and we were in Washington, D.C., which is not too long of a drive for both of us, and you
Mm-hmm.
were able to use miles and points for the stays there that you'd otherwise pay for. And fun event. I was a speaker there. You came. We had some others from Philly who attended, so that was a nice opportunity to meet some people. I presented about staying organized with miles and points, as that's another objection that we get. Oh, sounds like it's really complicated to keep track of this, but people have their own organizational systems, and we're still having lots of success and not having breakage on benefits, right? We're redeeming the benefits that we have that we're paying the annual fees for. And like you said, that free night certificate, a pretty easy one. Okay, you could pay 99, 95 a year, whatever it is, and get a free night that could easily be worth 200 plus, and then you're getting other benefits from the cards.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, I really enjoyed the FTU conference generally, but specifically your talk. And for all those that yawned when you said something about staying organized and miles and points, I'll say it was a fantastic presentation, Justin. You did an excellent job of making a topic that I think some folks on the surface would find to be pretty dry and boring, really engaging and interesting and useful. So nice job with that. And that's not even usually your thing that you talk about. Usually you're talking about the online gambling and opportunities there. So what are you going to be what are you talking about at Chicago seminars?
Yes, I'll be talking about the online gambling at both
There we
Chicago
go.
seminars, and then Zorkfest will be a more open discussion, I believe, on a panel.
Nice.
We'll see as it's a confirmed event, but the sessions are still in progress to some extent.
Yeah.
But looking forward to Zorkfest, especially Anthony Curtis is going to be there from Las Vegas Advisor, and he had been on several blackjack card counting teams in the past. And he's going to have a blackjack lab where he's going to talk about playing blackjack, finding advantage in person and in casinos. So I'm going to talk to him about what he thinks about the online hustle, and I'm pretty sure he's going to like it.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, so lots of opportunity there. And yeah, staying organized, I think I picked that because they wanted something different than the online gaming because the event was in Washington, D.C., and there they don't have the online blackjack.
Right.
They only have the sports betting. And some people are still reluctant. Oh, gambling, what if I lose this and that? But we're in it for the long game, and we're taking advantage, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think, like everything else in the world, right? Things change, the new opportunities emerge. American Express, for example, right? Over the last year, it's been kind of wild, right? So it went from all these no lifetime language offers, right? So even if you had the card before, especially business cards, they'd be happy to have you sign up for another one. And we would be, frankly, happy to sign up for one too, right? So it was a big
Oh,
deal,
yeah.
and we could fluze to the finish line, right? If you know, you know. And so that was
For those in the know.
for those in the know. And then they were like, actually, if you've had these cars before, we don't actually want you to have them anymore. And we're like, okay, well, that's cool, American Express. We'll just be over here waiting whenever you're ready. And then like, but if you have these cars and you refer someone else, well, you get 10x at all restaurants up to $25,000 in spend, and
10x points,
10x
yep.
points, yeah. So plus the 4x on the business gold, right? So all of a sudden it's 14x, and if you had a sign up bonus or a couple authorized users, and it's a fairly lucrative, right? Fairly lucrative deal there, and so then we kind of ran out of those, and what do you know? There's a couple of no lifetime language offers floating around, right? Delta first, and now this Blue Business Plus. So it seems like American Express, they just can't quit us. They just can't quit us, Justin.
Yeah, and Hilton before that as well. And of course, we're making all these quote unquote restaurant purchases online, floozing to the finish line, as you mentioned. So that's been a fun way to do it because, of course, Cracker Barrel has not been selling the $500 Visa or MasterCard gift cards or FanDuel gift cards. If Cracker
Uh,
Barrel wants to get into the online gaming partnership, we could do that too. That would be great.
I should make that suggestion in the suggestion box the next time I pass by Cracker Barrel.
Great. I might find myself back there in the month of September if they're going to give me a birthday freebie.
There you
So
go.
maybe that'll be the opportunity.
Perfect.
You can't ring a bell there. I remember that was a thing at Long John Silver's. Long John Silver's some time ago. You'd ring the bell as you exited that you had a good experience. So yeah, if they want to add that, I'll be happy to ring a bell or do some other eccentric things at Cracker Barrel.
Good old Cracker Barrel. It's a joke that never died.
Yeah, so we've been continuing to have fun. We got some Q4 action likely coming up as we're recording in August. I know that October, November, December usually gets extremely busy with the Dollar General Thanksgiving Day deal where they're probably going to discount Lowe's gift cards 15% off once again. So that'll be fantastic to stop at like $15 Generals in a day if we can once again. And a lot of other online deals and in-store deals. So I'm sure we'll have a lot to do. Like it's gotten so busy that I figured, oh, can I do my travels on other months? And maybe I'll just travel. I'll delay some travels instead of in November. I'll go in January and February when it seems to get slower on the deal side.
Yeah.
That's been the thing in recent years.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes sense, right? I mean, certainly it seems like there's a lot of incentives to buy things, all things in that run up to the holiday season, and then there's the big sort of letdown and hangover afterwards. So it's the perfect time to travel. I agree.
Yep. I got South Korea coming at the end of August, Vegas September, October, and then I'll have a Virgin Voyages cruise through an offer match in January. April should be the British Isles cruise, and I have a trip to Poland as well coming up next year. So lots planned, lots of deals, lots of opportunity.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Now, the UK flight situation was a bit more complicated, having to transfer points and going through partners rather than booking directly with the airline, but I got it to work. And thanks for your help on that one as well.
Oh yeah, it was funny. I subscribe to a great sort of travel alert service, straight to the points. Spencer Howard runs that, and I think soon after, within a few days of of us talking about that and finding that and booking it. Spencer sent out an alert about using those same miles to book that JetBlue Mint product. So pretty cool. We were able to catch that for you ahead of time and missed the big rush, I guess, such as it was.
Yeah, and I think that's how the Poland trip came about as well. Straight to the points is the newsletter there.
Yeah, nice. Spencer's a great guy, super knowledgeable, and it's a nice service. I think it does two things. One, it certainly gives you those alerts directly, but the other nice thing he does, he really breaks it down on how you can book that kind of thing. And again, the idea of booking booking one thing with the different miles and points can seem confusing for folks to start with, or what points can you book what with, and what has surcharges and what doesn't. And all that's in those newsletters. So even if you're not booking every flight, and I don't think anyone's booking every flight, but it provides you the opportunity to learn a little bit along the way and say, I want to go here, or I want to book this. I want to book Etihad, or I want to book JetBlue, Mint, or I want to book whatever, Q Suites. How can I do that? What are my options? I have an American Express points, or I have Chase Ultimate Rewards, or whatever it is.
Yeah, because we're not looking at all these sites on our own and going through store flyers. We're relying on other groups and services. It's been a really good community. The Daily Churn Discord, I'm also part of. Miles to Memories has a Slack community. Lots of different Facebook groups, including Award Travel 101. Many, many, many options.
And again, I think if you're in the Philly area and want to just come and listen and ask questions, your monthly meetup's a great place to do that. All different folks with different skills and different experiences, different knowledge bases, very open, and folks are happy to share. So I really appreciate your facilitation and hosting.
Yeah, meetup.com/Philly, miles and points, as the intro and outro usually say.
There you go.
Yeah, we have a private room inside of the giant community center in Willow Grove, and America's favorite Chinese food. We used to call it In Giant, but now it says Inside Giant. So you can use your grocery points for freshly made Chinese food. I order off the menu and wait for them to make it rather than just picking the stuff that's sitting in the case. So a pro tip there.
Yep. Chinese food. They have sushi, same deal. I mean, you can do a lot of things with those grocery points. I don't think I've ever successfully been able to use them to buy beer or wine. That's the only thing that. That's the suggestion box.
Yeah, you'll have to find something that maybe codes differently. I think they've had sake before next to the sushi, so that might be a thing, but that doesn't show up at too many giants. And they have these slushy drinks, the frozen slushy drinks, I think they are, the alcoholic slushy drinks, and those didn't work with grocery rewards either.
If we had it all, Justin, we would get spoiled.
Yeah, well, we still have the Panera Sip Club, so that's definitely
true.
still.
But not the charged lemonades anymore. Sorry, you can't have it.
No, too many lawsuits, so no more. It's a new era at Panera now. You get the hibiscus and lavender drinks, I think, is what's up there now.
Yeah.
What was it? A devaluation or an enhancement to the existing program?
They enhanced the existing program. That's what they always tell us. We've enhanced it.
Yeah,
increasing our fees 2x and eliminating your favorite thing.
Yeah, just like Dunkin' Donuts, they can't even give you a free drink anymore on your birthday. Oh, you get bonus points today. We've enhanced the program. Now you have more points. But wait, what happened to my free drink?
Yeah, pay no attention to the man over behind.
Yeah, well, we've been back to Dunkin' Donuts with the new Amex Gold Card credits, which many people have been critical of. Oh, I don't go to Dunkin'. Oh, this is a silly thing. This is a chore. Oh, I have to take this extra trip. But I've gone in person and got gift cards, and I can sell those gift cards for something like 89% face to cardcenter.cc, past podcast guest.
There you go.
And other people have just been able to, from home, load balance to the Dunkin' app. Yeah. So as we're all travelers, you'll probably pass by a Dunkin' Donuts at some point, and we're all grandfathered into old annual fees with the American Express Gold Card, unless one annual fee just hit when they made the changes. So yeah, it's some easy money there. Dunkin' Donuts, multiple in Las Vegas, some on the Strip, especially at Link, LA and Q. So lots of options, or maybe just give the credits to a friend who uses Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know, but I think much ado about nothing with all the complaints. But once the new annual fee comes, then we have decisions.
Right.
But for now, I think we're all right.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And like you say, I think it's one of those things that you can load it to your app every month. And even if you're not going to use it this month, at some point you can. Or like you say, at the end of the year, like go buy a gift card with what's left and give it to somebody for their birthday, right? There's lots of ways to...
A stocking stuffer.
Yeah, there you go, to find the edge there.
Yeah, when I was working years ago, they had what they called a white elephant event where you had to put an item of $10 or lesser value in, and people were able to select it and swap it for other things. And I added Panera $10 bonus cards that I got from a previous promo.
There you go.
Yeah, I got in for free buy-in.
Free buy-in. There you go.
All right, good. Anything else as we wrap up here?
I don't think so, Justin. It's always good to catch up with you and appreciate you having me back. And I guess schedule me in for 2029.
Yeah, hopefully sooner than that. And for some listeners, my voice has not been good. I've been traveling a lot, so a little bit of a break. Hopefully back at a more regular basis and not getting sick or getting the C19. Possibly, who knows? Yeah, but August 25th for the next in-person meetup in Willow Grove, followed by September 15th and October 20th.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for future episodes. Visit hurdygurdytravel.com to contact me, find me on social media, read select episode transcripts, schedule a free consultation, and use referral links to support my efforts. Find this show on many podcast platforms and YouTube, where you can find bonus videos. Supporting me with monthly donations on Subscribestar will give you special perks, including a custom podcast episode, questions answered by upcoming guests, and monthly private one-on-one conversations delving into more advanced topics I don't openly discuss at length in podcast episodes. Visit meetup.com/Philly miles and points to learn about monthly Greater Philadelphia Travel Credit Miles and Points meetups I host in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. I hope to see you in person at a future event. Find a link in the show notes. I'll be speaking at multiple events in 2024, including the September Chicago Seminars event at Hyatt Regency, the October Chicago Seminars event at Holiday Inn Elk Grove Village, and the Miles Points and Gambling event, Zorkfest, November 2024 in Las Vegas. Listen to my other podcast, the Stoic Solutions Podcast, found at stoicsolutionspodcast.com. My podcast guests and I offer practical wisdom for everyday life, inspired by the ancient tradition of Stoic philosophy from Greece and Rome. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.
Travel at low cost with points and miles. Credit card rewards bring the smiles. Many adventures, tales to be told. Make and save money, the world will unfold. Fight the war on happiness, pick up the gold. Hurdy Gurdy Travel Podcast breaks the mold.